good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Disappointment result at Ibrox, and tonight Rangers 0, Leon to join myself. Oxford on the show is once again GB. All right, GB.
All right, Ox. One's been taking it to sales a wee bit tonight, mate. So you'll need to help me through this.
Aye. Well, it happens, mate. A wee step up. We weren't great. We know that. We get punished for individual errors. I'm no putting the blame completely on Ryan Kent, but I thought he was involved when we lost the both goals. Decision making, individual errors all over the pitch, short we were passing, wrong decisions. There was a classic that summed up the game to me. Kemar Roof, when he came on and he drove inside the box, and the pass was out to Barisic, and that summed up the night for me. Not having a go at Roof, just making an observation, GB, that's what summed up. Just wrong decisions, short passes. We made a mistake with the goal. Great finish with a lad, but Ryan Kent in the middle of the park, I don't think Kent's fit, mate, and we're playing him in the wrong position. If Michael Beale's a tactical genius at times, he must see that. We're trying to accommodate him. He's definitely no fit, and it looks as if his hamstrings eventually went. So we take our medicine, we move on, step up, we host a game, and we have to. That's the level we're trying to get to. GB.
Yeah, mate. Well put. Everything you said there, I can't disagree with you, mate. It's for me, Kent, like you say, is involved in the both goals. Like he's kind of put all the blame on him. Lundstrom again. Lundstrom, I was talking about it before the game. I'm going to stop talking about him because every time I keep trying to give him the slack to say that he's got to perform for us, he never performs. And
I thought he was. I don't think he was great, and then we lost the goal. I thought he came into the game, but I don't think. I mean, he showed glimpses tonight that there's a player in there, but along with the rest of the team, we were all 5s and 6s, if I'm being honest. Now, some of that was down to their good play, but some of it was down to their tactics. I think we need to learn. That when we're stepping up, that teams can just pick us off in midfield with the 3, mate. I think we need to look to change some things. But it's only my opinion. It'll be great to hear what other people think. What do you think?
Yeah, let's hear from them, mate.
Yep. Well, we'll get them on the second. But look, mate, really disappointed, but you take it on the chin, you move on. It ruins our record a bit under Stevie G at home, but that's not really that important. You'd like to keep it. The other game was nothing each. We need to go and beat the 2 teams and move on in the group.
Yeah. Mate, I said at the start of the first show, and Leon, for what I've seen, is that you can't give them a sniff. You give them a sniff, these guys are so clinical, and it proved it in that first goal. We allowed the guy to run and hit a beautiful shot. It was a great goal, but that's what I'm saying. When you let these guys run at you and have that space to show their quality, they'll hurt you. And it was the same in the second goal as well. The ball is bouncing about in there, and these guys will just snap at that. They'll just they're there and thereabouts. They know how to get a goal, and we just can't be slack like that. And that's
it came for Kent in the midfield. The ball broke to the boy out in the wing. It came inside, and Lundstrom was poor. He was poor, but I'm still blaming Kent. Kent controls the ball, makes the run, and does the right thing or passes it. The goal never happens, But
we go back to what you says about the him being injured. This is what like you says. You make a great point. We're accommodating. I don't know why.
It doesn't look fit to me, mate. I don't know what you think.
What? See, last season we were brilliant with managing Kent a bit because you see, as soon as there was an inkling of him having an injury, they took him out of the equation. They rested him till he was fit again, and then they brought him back and when he was ready to go. And what we're trying to do now is, I don't know why, but we're just trying to keep him in the game and keep him going. But what was happening tonight, he's waiting probably, like you says, pulled his hamstring now, and now he's going to have this rest to recover.
But for 6 weeks if it's his hamstring. Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All our lovely receptionists are at the game tonight, so if you phone in, hang up and we will phone you back. Yeah, back to the old ways, just to keep the show going. Right, okay, well, use your thoughts, GB.
Thoughts on the game, Ox? Just a total different level for Rangers again. It was a step up tonight. I had a feeling that we could maybe compete with them, but that's just when you've got slack passing, guys not working hard enough to shut down balls and stuff like that. I felt we had chances to bring ourselves back into the game. A lot of chances.
Great save. Who had a shot?
Ken Aribo as well. Aribo shot, remember? It broke for him. But that was this. No, that was the first half. Near the end of the first half, Aribo's shot away. Lundstrom as well had a great turn and hit, and it just swiveled past the post as well. Barisic's deliveries were on the money a lot of the night as well.
Listen, I'll put it to this to you. Look, we weren't good. We were bad at times. There was some positives in the game. Sometimes we done okay, but we just lacked a bit of quality. Anyway, we've been joined by Jamie. Evening, Jamie.
Hi, Ox.
How you doing, mate? Turn that frown upside down.
Could you tell already?
Aye. I can see your face, mate. Turn that camera off. What do you think, GP?
I know. Let's see the big smile.
Use your thoughts, Jamie. Use your thoughts.
I don't know about you guys, but can you not tell with Rangers whether we're going to have a good game within the first 10 or 15 minutes that we play? Because that's the way I'm feeling this season and some points in last, that you just know the way we start games if this is going to go well or no. And I didn't think we looked up for it for the first minute. Gerrard in his pre-match interview said we were going to start with intensity. We might use 3, 4 or 5 subs, was his words, because we were going to play with such intensity. I never seen any for the front three in particular, and I think that's why we lost. I can't see us creating much at all, and that's been a problem. I know we're shitting goals, but we're not creating anything.
Well, we had a couple of chances tonight, but they're more speculative than sitters. I mean, we've not missed a sitter for a long time, you know. There's a problem. The front three, but would they argue that the midfield on the pushing the balls or they're not getting the right service, mate?
I thought the night was probably, when he's saying that we were going to play with intensity, I thought we would see a press, and I never seen it.
No, I think it was...
First 10 minutes, did you not see that Leon were putting the ball at the park a few times? I thought we might get a bit of joy, but
they grew into the game after about 20 minutes, mate, up to the goal. They really controlled it, but we rallied well the last 10 minutes before half time. What do you think, GB? That was maybe our best spell in a match.
Yep, I felt for probably 35 minutes onwards, Ox, I felt that we could have had 2 in amongst that time period because there were so many chances. Leon looked as though they were a bit shaky at the back, which again, watching them, they can fold. They're a team that they fold at the back, but we just, do you know, you've said it before, Ox, we've just not been getting the rub of the blue, you know. It's just been like balls are just not breaking for us. It's not falling the right way. I'm not using that as an excuse, but it's just there's chances there to bring the game back to us, and we're just not getting the breaks. Again, what I say is these guys are bringing on Shaqiri, you know what I mean, off the bench, and the quality that they possess at their feet. I just see if we're talking since we go 1-0 down, we've not got a player, I don't think, in this team now that can come off the bench and change your full game. We used to have that, like with Braga and that, where like Hadji would come on and he would do this like splurty brilliance and he'd bring us right back into the game and all that. But I just don't think we've got like that. See if we took that Toko that Leon had tonight and put him into our team, I think our quality would rise so much. It's just I just don't think we can reach that level yet.
There's something missing. We all know that. I don't think the night's a problem. I get Jamie's point about we're pedestrian and we're not getting intensity. That's how I thought the game would go. I thought we would sit and try and play when we couldn't go forward and show patience and make them knock it about in the back. That's exactly how I thought it would go. I didn't think we would go gun-ho against them, Jamie. You know, what Gerrard says in the press conference and what actually happens is two different things, you know.
That's fair enough. I mean, I just thought we might have seen a bit more off the bench, and the fact we only seen 3 players, and the subs were only made when the game was dead. This is the thing. Like, I'm getting annoyed with the fact that he said in pre-season that teams are working us out. He's openly said that. Everybody that studies Rangers should know how we play. We've only got one formation. We've not seen a change in it. So I'm a bit annoyed that we're a bit readable just now. That's my thoughts on it.
The answer, I'm playing devil's advocate here. The answer will be that Gerrard will say, well, individual errors cost us the match tonight.
Well, you could say for Kent for getting the ball away and Lundstrom not closing down.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I don't expect us to keep a clean sheet against Lyon because they are a good team. But I still thought we might create a bit more, and it's been the case for ages.
I get your frustrations. I think also for about 15 minutes, the own goal took the heart out of us, didn't it?
Aye, definitely.
You know?
It was ping pong a wee bit in that for that second goal, and all it needed was for one is to get a clearance away, Ox. But again, like I says, for watching Lyon and stuff like that, these guys just hoover all these kind of chances up. They don't get a second chance with them. They're right in there and bang, goal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get it, mate. Look, that goal that guy scored, what a hit it was. But we're still annoyed at the mistakes leading up to it. I think we've been joined by Andrew. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, guys. How are we?
Aye. We've had better nights.
Aye, I know. Had better nights myself. I just wanted to phone in, just basically to. I'd been saying, like, when I've been calling in about Kent and Kent's no heights and stuff, and like yourself and Bridgman have been saying, you know, he's carrying an injury, and I think tonight he's just proved that. I heard you saying it at the start of the show that he's possibly carrying an injury, and I think when he went for that sprint tonight, it's just obviously, if it is a hamstring, it's just basically it's gone in it. But it looks it, but hopefully it's not as bad as it looks. And wanted to know what you thought of that.
Well, for me, he's not looked fit for weeks because he's not getting that explosive. That would suggest he's had hamstring problems. I've tried to nurse him through it. We've had the international break. You think that'll do him good, and it's still not went away. The trouble with hamstrings, the only thing that will cure it is rest. You know,
absolutely.
So if it's a tweak, it's 4 weeks. If he's pulled it, mate, it's minimum 6. You know, so would I play Kent tonight? More likely would I. You take the gamble, but I don't understand, and I'll take this to Jamie. Jamie, I don't understand where he's playing in the middle. I don't get it.
Aye, sometimes you see Ryan Kent at left back. Like, I don't get it. Like, tonight he was our only player with width. If you're playing Aribo on the right, you're expecting him to be the one to drop back, but Kent always seems to, I don't know if it's frustration, he's not getting on the ball enough, but he wants to come back, and sometimes he does cover well. That he's obviously had an injury. Hamstring's not one I would risk. But then Scott Wright comes on and he also looks that he's carrying a knock as well with the way he's going down now. So pre-season we were sitting thinking we've got 2 players for every position. I don't know if we do anymore, because I'm not seeing the likes of Sakala come on and make a difference for us. Even Roof, I don't know if he's trusted to come on either. It's sore the night, you know, but it's not just about the night, it's about the overall season so far, and the fact that I don't think we've played well in any of the games apart from against Dunfermline. That's the reality. I know
you've got to put that in context, mate, and look at the opposition, yeah?
Yeah, no, I appreciate we're grinding out the results. That's the make of champions. But in terms of actually playing good football,
no compared to what we were watching this time last season, mate, you know?
Yeah.
Andy, I think we all agree that It looks, I mean, we're no privy to any information, but it looks as if Ryan Kent's not been fit. That's the observation. So that affects his confidence.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. It's like you can see, as Jamie pointed out there, he's been, like I've spoke about it a few times when I phoned in, that he's running back to left back to get 40, to running back 40 yards to collect a ball, and and as you mentioned there as well, what is his position? He's playing central, and playing out of position. What is his position? So it's baffling for me. And going back to what Jamie says there, I quite agree with Jamie. To be honest, I don't think we've really had a full 90-minute game yet that we've absolutely controlled.
No, I don't think.
We've controlled the game.
Let's discount the Dunfermline game because there's inferior opposition.
Yeah.
We're playing against teams in the league. We ain't been great. Livingston was okay the first game of the season, and then for then we've not been great. St Johnstone and Ross County, done okay at Ross County. Got to take the opposition into consideration. St Johnstone and Dundee United weren't great. 1-1, 1 loss. And obviously, home to Celtic, we know we won. It was a fabulous day because it's always great. But we weren't great neither.
That's the making the champions, I suppose, as you say. But I think we really... I know we're picking up a couple of injuries and stuff now.
That's football, mate. That's football.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that's football. But is it a little bit of a concern, maybe? Do you think?
I wouldn't like to put too much. Jamie, we tend to overreact after a bad result. If we beat Motherwell, we're still top of the league. But I get your ideas, Jamie. You have to maybe reflect tomorrow when you and then see where you go in it.
I know it's always the case. Like your emotions are raw after a defeat, but I think it is an accumulation of how bad Rangers are playing now compared to last season, and not only that, but just the lack of action for the management in terms of team selection. I don't think Tav had a great game against St Johnstone. Gerrard came out and backed him, said Rangers have got the best right back in Scotland, and Scotland have got the best right back in Patterson. I think Patterson should be getting more of a chance. I think
no, that game the night, mate. Tav was one of our better players for that 90 minutes, mate. He wasn't great. He was still one of our better players. Him and Balogun were two of our better players, and then Lundstrom after that. Golson started okay, won a lot of good headers. Sort of felt like the game wasn't great because they just let us play at the back but actually our defence wasn't under that much pressure second half, really, Gary. But the game was done at 2-0. They were just taking the heat, slowing it down, knocking about the back. Tav was trying to push us forward. All our attacks nearly come down where Tav was. I mean, no saying he was fantastic, but I'm saying he was one of our better players the night.
Tav didn't stand out for me. I agree with you on Balogun. I thought he was probably our best player. But yeah, okay.
He was good, but he wasn't great,
Yeah, no one was. But you're saying that the attacks were going down the right. That's fine, but I actually think that's more about Barisic not going by a man for ages. I've not seen him go to the byline this season. So I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's not got the legs anymore or whatever, if he's got an injury as well. But I like to see him take players on because he's always passing it back. He's always just playing the ball dead, like the cross for deep, rather than going to the byline. And that, I think, is maybe why we're going to the right rather than to the left. But you can say a lot of things about the night.
GB.
That's my thoughts.
Jamie, you make a lot of good points, mate. I mean, if you're going on last season the way Barisic was playing, he did have the confidence to go and take a man on and get right in that box and then hit a deadly pass. I did notice tonight he was, like you says, he would run and then he would stop the ball dead and then he'd look and hit. by that point, I think the chance for Mellis in the first half, early doors, he done that and he hit it. And because he'd waited, it didn't give Morelos time to beat the guy to the ball. So, but he did, for me, he did put in some good crosses overall. But again, that was the whole team tonight. The whole team just didn't get the right passes away. There was a bit of slackness. I mean, but like I say, they shock you because you're looking at it in the next minute, that 15 minutes, between 35 up to the 45 minutes and stuff like that, there was chances there to get us back in that game.
I thought at that time we would get a goal. I was always worried about them scoring another one, GB. I thought we would score, when we went at half time, I think we'll get a goal, but they could score and maybe score again.
Aye. It was up and down a lot, Ox, and what I found with them tonight as well, they seemed to find a lot of space. Like there was times there was just like one guy standing with the ball ready. I mean, I don't know who the boy was.
They're basically playing with one up front, mate. We've got four at the back with our full-backs trying to push up. So when our full-backs are next to our centre-halves, mate, they've got 5 against 3 in the midfield, and they're good players. So they've got our players chasing shadows, and I think Jamie made a point. Sometimes the management have to look at, we've got to learn when you think back, Leverkusen, same coach by the way, exactly the same coach tonight. Leverkusen, class above us, done us. This Prague team last year, very organised with good players. Czech Republic team, played a similar setup. Malmo, home and away, there's a lot of similarities. These teams are lining up pretty much the same, and then they're murdering us in midfield, so we're not creating, and then they're getting right into our pure defence. Anyway, we've been joined by Baloo. Evening, Baloo.
How you doing, boys? Actually made it on.
Evening, Baloo.
How you doing, pal? You alright?
Looking for you.
Brandon, mate.
Fox is looking for you, mate.
Easy to find, honestly.
Yeah. Give your thoughts, mate.
You know, I've not listened to much of the show tonight. I've been talking to my brother on the phone. My thoughts are, and this is how I said it to my brother, I thought we were done tonight with a terrible referee. I thought the referee was absolutely shocking. He was as weak as a dishwater, inconsistent all the part. A couple of things that I didn't understand that he did, but the one that I really didn't understand, I was watching the game without any sound because the stream I was watching everything was right. See the elbow in Balogun and towards the end.
The one in the box where he jumps up and talks to him.
I just thought it was a challenge, mate. I really did.
Well, I thought it was an elbow right in his chops, and you've seen guys getting sent off for that sort of stuff, and it looked like, I think if that is if the tackle on what you call him Lundstrom in the box earlier on, which was shoulder to shoulder, it wasn't a penalty. But if that was VAR, the penalty claim I would have said on Balogun must have been a VAR call, and it was definitely it was the elbow hit in the face. It wasn't his forearm or anything like that. So it was.
I get it, but I'll be honest with you, I never even I've seen it twice, and I never thought it was a penalty on both occasions.
Aye, but I wouldn't under normal circumstances get a penalty for something like that. But see, when you're starting to talk about VAR, if you look at that in VAR, it's an elbow in the jaw, and therefore it is a penalty. But I agree with you. There's a lot of things I would, rub at the road with VAR. But if you're talking about the rules of the game, but like I said, I just thought the referee was really weak. It was whenever anybody touched them, they were dropping lips and eyes.
There was a classic. What his name was? It Denier. Where he learned to do that, to do when nobody touched him.
Especially the one where. When Scott Wright was chasing down that,
down the wing back,
that's the one.
It just completely falls to the ground.
Stick with me, Andrew. I'll make you a star. Yeah.
He must have been. He must have been 2 feet away from him. And what was actually really?
I can't blame the referee for that, because it was a linesman that was 3 yards away from him. He gave it.
I wasn't even 3 yards. It was 2 feet away. But what I think is happening here is, you get a lot of these referees will say to the linesman at the start of the game, I'm making decisions. You call it in if you're unsure about it, but I'm making decisions. And I think what's happened is the guys called it into the referee, and the referee said foul for or whatever. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Generally speaking, I didn't think Rangers were very, very bad tonight. I thought we could easily have scored. We were unlucky we hit the post and arrested it. Their first goal was an absolutely beautiful, but terrible defending again. Second goal was terrible defending. We had a smash in their box. Ours went into our net. Theirs didn't go into their net. So, and like I said, we hit the post. They were good.
Sorry, but the person you've called isn't available.
Right, so you still there? Like I said, there's some players. The whole midfield just didn't perform. I was saying Aribo should have been up long ago. My brother was calling for Steve Davis to go off in the first half. I thought Kamara was poor at times. In fact, most of the night.
Kamara anonymous and Aribo, who I quite like, and I think that's his best perfect. Apart from one shot, GB, he never really influenced him getting much, did he?
No, mate. We spoke pre-match, mate, and
sorry.
That was the big one about Aribo being back up front. I mean, he had that lovely shot in the first half that I thought he was going to do what he's usual on his left and bang it right in the top corner for us. But it was him and Kamara were very, very quiet tonight for me. Mm-hmm. And Kamara especially he didn't have the lovely turns and pace and go kind of thing.
And Stephen Davis, I don't think I've ever seen him ever so many short passes. He was short with passes. Our whole team was short tonight with passes. And that puts you in trouble. And against good players, they'll come in and get it after you, and then they're driving on. You're taking people out the game. But look, they were a wee bit step up from what we play every week.
I think they were crafty. That's what they were. And what you were saying about our players, the passes not being crisp and right on the note. It's not as if we were under pressure when this was happening. Our boys were making mistakes all over the park.
It was just short passing, which is a sin at top level of football. Jamie?
Yeah.
Just on the referee, I thought he did probably favour them slightly, but I would also make the point that he could have sent off Goldson the first 15 minutes because Goldson studied that boy near enough waist high, and it could have been a red card. So I don't think the last 6 minutes was the Balogun incident, and for me it wasn't a penalty. I don't think we can look at the referee. We've got to blame ourselves tonight and the fact that we just weren't at it in any area of the pitch.
The only thing I will say is that white tap that Alan McGregor, bizarrely, Andrew, he'll not need to go in a washing because he wasn't really involved, really.
No, he wasn't, was he? He wasn't. I think the only time I've seen him go down was when the first goal went in, but I just had a look at the stats after the game. We had more shots and goals than they did, and watching the game you would never think it.
Well, I think we did, mate, in the second half, but how many was on target?
I think they had 3 with 2.
Well, that says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not getting enough shots on target. I mean, if you look at it on Saturday, to back up the point that Jamie's made, it was 36 minutes, 39 minutes or something before we had a shot on target against St Johnstone. Below.
Oh, I am with you in that. I agree with you entirely. I think, far too much passing it about. The setup wasn't right tonight. But we don't shoot. We don't shoot. I mean, that was one of the things about when Sakala came on. I mean, I don't know much about Sakala yet. I'm not willing to form an opinion on him. But tonight, he impressed me when he came on with his industry. I thought he worked really, really hard, created a few openings, all the rest of it. So I'd like to think that boy, when he gets his head up and looks, he just fires it in and goal. So Alfie, again, I thought Alfie worked really hard, did lots of good work, but nobody's getting him into a position where he can actually, they're not playing him in that he can score goals.
No.
He's having to do too much work himself. You know what I mean?
No, everything he's back to goal, maybe 50 yards for the goal. He's hustling and bustling, getting the ball played up to him. He's doing all right. He's battling the odd time getting it. He played some decent balls, but no in the centre forward position, No. But
he should be there. Sorry, I'm going to go.
Carry on, boy.
I was just going to say that, maybe Roof would have been better beside him, or maybe Roof in the centre and him behind him or something like that, because Alfie's brilliant at getting that ball, holding it up and creating passes, and I think Roofe would be lightning, beside him. But they want to obviously play Alfie as the number 9.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, we're all disappointed. We're all disappointed in the result, and we're disappointed in the performance. But perversely, does that mean that we're not as bad as we think? Because if that was it, GB, and we thought, well, that's it, that's all we can play, and we could be a better team, we would be bothered. But we know there's something not right.
Aye, mate. The full team now is just no in form, and I think what's hindered us as well is we've made significant signings into the team, and these signings are still no up to speed yet. They've no gave us. I mean, we've spoke about Sakala there. The boy has got potential, but the difference in levels is when you look at that Toko boy, they signed him for 20 million, and that's the difference. You've got a guy on like that can run at pace and shoot and score with that quality. Sakala's got the pace, he's got probably the vision, but he's just not got the know-how yet to get to that level. And that's what we're buying potential, whereas when Leon are going out to spend, they're buying practically the finished article.
Aye, I mean, we're shopping that Morrison's, mate, and they're shopping some of them. They're not quite a Harrods, but they might be Waitrose, mate. You know what I mean?
Aye, what it says, we're Bosmans and they're 20 million.
Aye, but listen, we know where we've been and we know where we're going to get to, Jamie. But the journey's long, and this is another bump in the road, and we just have to take it and hope they'll drive us on.
I know, it's a good point. Like when you look at what we've spent to get that squad together, you can look at Davis on a free, Aribo on whatever it is, an agreement fee for England to Scotland, and then Kamara, and then compare it to the other teams in Europe. That's not where my frustration lies, but it's where we were, or what levels we were reaching, and how we've not got there for a long time. That's what
here's a question, and I'll go to below first. You never know, teams peak, and then that's when you've got to rip it up and start again.
Aye, that's a fair comment. But I've got an observation about, how we are where we are at the moment. And I've been saying it to my pals since the start of the season. A few games in there. I mean, we're not that long into the season, remember. What is it? This is just mid-September. But the 2 seasons before this, we had a winter break and we came back absolutely dire. We just had a 6 or 7 week spell where we couldn't get results. We weren't playing well and all the rest. And everyone said, what happened here? We were playing so well before the break. How can this happen? Nobody could put their finger on it. This season, we had the same situation arise because we had players in the Euros and players that, in South America and all the rest of it. And one thing that's absolutely certain about this is we have a different arrangement for a season, a close season area like a month off in the winter break, where we don't train like we train normally. And I think there's something to do with the setup and how we organise it, that we come back, because they don't give them a full a rigorous run out like they do normally. They said that the guys that came back for Euros now arrested in Morelos, they came back and they've got them wrapped in some sort of cotton wool. They've got some sort of arrangement where they don't push them as hard, they don't work them as hard. And I think that affects the mentality, because that's now like 2 full winter breaks and 1 full summer break like that. And your summer break was only, 8 weeks, 12 weeks or something like that, because the Euros, we finished late and started early. So there's something about how we treat our players when they come back for a short break, or how we treat them when they're on that short break.
I think we finished the middle of May, mate. Our first competitive game was
July.
Livingston, the end of July.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is the players might have finished in May, but they went to the Euros with lots of international players on duty. So what I'm saying is, when they bring them back, that bringing them back period is effectively the months where we've got the winter break is the same sort of period where they've just come back.
Well, who was it? Who was
10
it?
players.
Who was at the Euros? Patterson,
Kamara,
Barisic.
That's about it.
Alanda.
I think we had 5 or 6 players because the wee man was away to the America's Cup as well, whatever it was. So we had a fair proportion of the first team engaged one way or another. And when they bring
their left back played for Italy, didn't he? Their their left back played for Italy. So every team, every tap team's got the same.
But I'm not talking about the teams. What I'm talking about is our arrangement, how we bring our players back. You've got 2 winter breaks where we come back after playing brilliantly, and we come back and we didn't perform for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now we've had a period where we're guys away at the Euros, so essentially they were training every day like they were playing football, and then they've got that 4 or 5 week period where they come back before the start of the season. So it's that period where we've got them after they come back. If you relate this summer break to a winter break, I'm saying it's the same sort of psychology. We treat the players differently when they're in this period.
Maybe the sports scientists have got too much to say. Maybe they have.
That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Something like that. There's something, and we change something, and our players aren't they up to coming back when they, at the level they were before. There's something different happens, and I've got no idea what it is, but it's just an observation.
How many games have we played now? 5 league games, 5 in Europe, 1 in the League Cup, 11 games. I think the rustiness should be gone by now, Jamie.
Aye. No, it's for me, like, only a few players went to the Euros. Kamara maybe played the most, but apart from him, Patterson played sub on 1 game. Barisic the same. Alanda, I don't think, got an appearance.
He came on for 10 minutes when the game at Hampden, didn't he? And just against Ukraine.
Barisic did, but
no,
Alanda
did.
I don't think.
He did for an injury.
I don't think Alanda made an appearance for.
Sorry,
he came on at Hampden, mate.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I don't know. It is a concern if they are getting overtrained or if they're getting ran into the ground with their fitness. I don't know. We can only speculate what's going on behind closed doors. But for me, I think Rangers.
I don't think it's fitness, because one thing I've only thought that team on the night was effort. I don't know what you think, Andy. I can't slag their effort. I can slag their quality, but not their effort.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't say that there was no effort for the team at all. I thought the try was there, but I think we were just beat by a completely better team. You've got to think the squad's worth 368 million. Compared to our squad, all right, it's we've beaten before away from home and stuff like that, but there was a completely different team that then, and they're no going to splashing 20 and 30 million pounds here, there, Nelly Willy for no reason, so they're a very, very, very good team. They're a Champions League team.
It's a step up. The step up. Is it? Listen, we can't. Baloo's got some good points. We can't master the point that we were disappointed tonight.
Yeah, and as you say, we spoke about on the show for weeks that after we got put out with Malmo that we probably aren't a Champions League team, and whereas tonight you would say that they are a Champions League team, so that goes to basically go to a theory, but that we're up against a Champions League team tonight, definitely.
They'll go deep in this competition. They'll be there or thereabouts in the last 8, I would think. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. It's only the first game of 5. They could draw a couple.
Exactly.
Stranger things have happened, But
what I will say, Ox,
yes.
the other teams in our group drew tonight, so it might not be that detrimental if Leon are to run away with it, because they are probably the best team in the group.
It looks that way at the moment. I mean, obviously it's only the first round, and they've played well against this GB. We can't hide. we were 5 or 6s tonight, and some people might even give some players a 4, but I would nobody, I don't think, go to a 7, but maybe Balogun, but we just have to see what it takes us. I think we'll be John Bernard Collar. Evening, Collar.
Yeah, John Burnbank. John Balfour.
How we doing, John?
Not bad at all, mate. Don't you think, I don't know, put it to the rest of the panel here, don't you think Rangers' best way of defence is attacking? And I know it was a better team we played tonight, but I didn't think we were up to what we were before. I don't know whether it is through injuries, COVID or whatever it is, the Ox, but I mean, we are a good team. And just, I don't know whether they've lost their confidence or what do the panels think?
I think you put some good points there. Chibi.
John, I think personally it's the kind of scenario that we see in the league. So when Jerry comes out and says like he's playing St Johnstone, he says we've got to be at our best. I think we needed to be at our very, very best tonight to compete against Leon, and we needed Leon to be a wee bit off their game. I think that was that kind of same scenario that we had tonight. I think that Leon are probably an overall better team than Rangers, but I think if we just reach the heights that sometimes like a St Johnstone reaches against us, sometimes we could have probably got a result tonight. But but it's just like I say, it's levels, it's quality, and as Ox has already said throughout the show, when you've got players getting slack passes away, no making sure that their passes are making the player, then
that's right.
These
many
guys,
slack passes.
These guys just latch onto that, and they've got the pace and power to just hurt you.
Yeah, but they were doing that as well. We never seem to connect with that. If you know what I mean. They were making slack passes at the beginning of the game and things like that.
First 20 minutes, John, you're right.
They
put a few times,
Yeah. So, as I said, we've got a team there that could beat them, but it's on the night. Unfortunately, we weren't good enough. Simple as that. And
that's also a fair comment, mate.
Yeah.
Listen,
anyway.
we know we never played well, John, but we get beat. We have to take it and move on, eh?
Yeah, of course we do. Because we've got the 1 in 6 games, we'll still qualify, mate. We'll still qualify. And I'm really...
Mate.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Difficult because it's a playoff when you're second in that. No, you don't go through automatically.
No, that's right. But as I said, we're there, and we're there in merit, not nothing else. And we should be there anyway. But hopefully everything will go all right the rest of the game. So, thank you very much for the call.
No problem, mate. Nice to speak to you. We'll be John Bernard, caller. Evening, caller.
Right, Bill, how you doing?
How we doing, Mark? All right?
No bad.
Come on, get it off your chest. Come on, you'll feel better. Talk to GB.
No, it's all about 56 for me, but it's again, if we got a draw, we'd have made a wee bit of money there. If we'd have won, they made a lot, wee bit more. I know it's not the Champions League, still making money, but this Europa League, right, it's good. If we're going to get to the last day, it'd be brilliant if we'd done it. But if we don't win the league, they're going to be sitting in the Champions League group stages this time next year, and we're going to be messing about in this Europa again.
The league's a priority, mate, for finances. You're right, I understand that fully, mate. I get it. But every game, you want to compete in it, and
So I spot on. It's all about the league. Yeah, I think it'd be good. We need to try and finish second. Then it'd be good to win it. But
listen, we've lost a game of football tonight with a decent team. I think they're the highest ranked team in the Europa League. Yeah.
Aye.
I think they are because of their runs in Europe over the last few years. So they're obviously
they're a good side.
They spend a lot of money in players. They've got they've got a good coach. That's twice he's came to Ibrox with his teams, Bayer Leverkusen and them. And we've got to learn from it. I hope we do learn from it. I mean, we've got to learn from that. We've got to learn from Sparta Prague and Malmo. They three have came in quite rapid time. So it's time to learn that sometimes we can't play the same formation, I think. And then move on, regroup and move on and get a bit of form going for the league, Mark, yeah?
I remember phoning you up as soon as we get beat off, was it Slavia Prague that put us out Europa last year? Slavia Prague, something like that. They beat us.
Aye, they did. Aye. Look, mate, it's disappointing. Below it is disappointed. We're all disappointed because we want to compete and we want to put a show on for the fans and hopefully we want to score goals. It never happened tonight.
No,
we're a wee bit short.
I'm disappointed more in probably the performance. I thought we looked like we were going to be better at the beginning of the night. It worked out, like you're saying, the passes became slack. Everything got unwound on us. See, at the end of the game, I said to my brother, I wasn't greatly impressed with this mob. I really think that they were very cute. Our guys weren't smart enough. They gave away a lot of stupid fouls. Some of them weren't even fouls. I didn't think we were that far away from this mob. And I would be getting to the dressing room night saying, if that's the best they've got to offer, I'm not afraid to go to Leon 6 weeks' time. I really wouldn't be caring too much about this. I would be wanting to get something back on them because I think we can do something.
Aye. See, last season, do you think we would have beat them at Ibrox?
Maybe the first half of the season, but the way we played against Leverkusen when we got them at Ibrox, that night we were just completely folded again, and it was same sort of situation. But I don't think they outplayed us tonight. They didn't play. I thought we didn't play very well. So I think last year at the start of the season we would have taken them. Certainly given them a right good game. But like you say, when we come back for this, the start of this season has been like the start of the second half of the season, the last two seasons before this. And I keep getting back to that. It's in my mind that the similarities in our performances, Scotland and in Europe, when we came back for the winter breaks, was dire, wasn't good at all, off the touch, everything like that at all. And we come back to the start of this season, and we've done exactly the same for the first 6 weeks. I just think there's something in there somewhere that needs to be analysed. But I'm not afraid of this mob, and I would think that once we get, hopefully, we've got too many problems now with injuries and things like that. That's what's worrying me. Too many problems with injuries.
Every team get injuries, didn't they? Everybody.
Aye, but we've had a lot though, haven't we? I mean, we've lost Helander. Katic was back fit, and now we've sent him out on loan for 6 months. And then, all this sort of stuff. So we've got all sorts of problems that cropping up. Kent pulls a hamstring the night. And Bassey has absolutely shown that he's not a bad wee player, but he certainly isn't a match for Barisic, and even in his current form. Because when he came in, there was guys on here wanting to sell Barisic because they thought Bassey was playing so well. Bassey sold penalties and gave away goals in the 3 performances they had. He's not ready for it. He's not good enough yet. He's a good player. We don't have the depth that we think we have.
He's raw, Bassey. Raw,
Aye, definitely raw. Good player, great potential. I would rather even maybe have seen him at centre half a night, but I thought Balogun was excellent.
Balogun was our best player.
Me too. I'm up for that. I like that.
Can I just jump in there, Ox?
Yes, mate. Of course you can.
It's the fans' favourite, Alfredo Morelos. He's not my favourite. He used to do my head in with the wee kicks to Scott Brown getting sent off at the Piggery, and then we're down to 10 men. But I care about if he's going to score the goals. But he won his 56 in the league, but in games like this as well, and he's not got it for me. Roof is a better finisher than Morelos. I think the most of Rangers fans will agree on that. Alfie in Europe, he's done very well, but at the same time, I don't want to say he's been a bit lucky, but has he got that? Is he just good enough for us? But I don't want to blame it on him.
There's 2 Alfies, isn't there? There's the Alfie come deep and spraying balls left to right. He made a wonderful party. Tavernier, I think it was in the second half, put out a Tav. And you see that. But that's no scoring goals. And I agree with your point that Roof is a better finisher than Morelos. I don't think he's a better player, but he's definitely a better finisher. Andrew, last point of the night, mate. On you go.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There's two sides to Morelos. The coming shot, the first game of the season last season, coming shot and then getting the ball through to Kent, and Kent getting through and scoring. But this season, when Morelos coming shot, Kent has not had Kent's not been fully up with the pace. So basically, when coming short and trying to get balls through is not really worked for us this season.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, as you said, Doc, definitely agree with you that there's two ways that Morelos plays, but I still think he's a great player and one of our best players.
I can understand Mark's frustration.
Absolutely.
As a centre forward, he's not getting a lot of service, but he's offering very little on the box, but he'll argue he's not getting the service. Mark, last comment of the night, mate?
No, that's brilliant. I love all the different opinions. Brilliant radio station to listen to every night. Thanks for taking my call. Well,
no, always good to have you on, mate. Good to hear from you, yeah?
Cheers. Thanks
mate.
A lot, Bill.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for having me on, Ox.
Oh, anytime, Andrew. You know you're more than welcome to come on here. Jamie?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Sorry for sounding negative, but I had to get it out of my chest tonight.
Billy will take you for a drink.
We're all the same.
Billy will take you out tomorrow night. You'll feel a lot better.
He didn't tell you I'm a sniper.
What about you, Billy?
What was it? Morelos. Well, you know what I think about Morelos. I think Morelos is just such a supremely talented player. When they're putting him in the box, he's not getting the service. They've got too many tippy-tappies running about the place. They should be looking for his moves and his runs, and they're not getting them. When they pull him back and he's having to come back 30 yards for the ball, then you need Roof in front of him, because him and Roof combining, they're both great at collecting the ball and passing it and laying it off. So I would either or. If you're going to put him in the front in a number 9 position, you need to feed him. If you're not going to put him in the number 9 position, then put Roof in the number 9 and let Morelos feed him, because I think the two of them together would be dynamite, absolute dynamite. And thanks for taking my call.
Oh, anytime, mate. Anytime.
Yes, sir.
It's over to you, GB.
Well, that says a bit of disappointing tonight, Ox, but you made a great point. We must learn from this if we want to get to that kind of level that Leon's at. So, just get the chins up for the weekend, because it's got to be Flag Day at the weekend.
Get
back in it. Yep, get behind the team and enjoy your day on Sunday.
Aye, get Ibrox rocking again, put the disappointments behind us and celebrate 55. Thanks, GB, always a pleasure. Thanks to Baloo, thanks to Jamie, thanks to Andy, thanks to Mark. Have I missed anybody out? Don't think I did. But disappointment in the night, we'll be back. But a small message to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly in this wee Rangers radio station of ours. Keep it going. Keep it going for the Rangers. Thanks for listening. Please stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow night with Jaffa, the one and only Jaffa. Andy and Charlie always gets them mixed up. Stay safe, but remember, we are the people. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From the day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I too have a lad, I would show him the way as he did on that day. And so now here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.
Keep it going. Keep it going. What is a shocker?
When I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the jurors, my father and son. And it's sure safe to say at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. When I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.
There's that Larky when you need him, eh? So I love Gallus. I love to see boys with Gallus.